students, I am Ishan Trivedi, Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering Department. Welcome you in the video lecture series. Today we are going to discuss about elements of city planning. Topics to be covered in these sessions are elements of city planning, classification of urban roads, and the urban road system. Let us start with the elements of city planning. We have seen in our surroundings that there are plenty of objects, and these all objects are part of urban area, and ultimately these objects are of elements of city plan. These objects includes residential area or residential buildings, public buildings, park, factories, road, etc. For all these we require lots of land, and these lands are classified in two categories. First is the built up area, or you can say the built up lands, where all the buildings and all various types of buildings is being constructed. And the second is open lands, which includes the roads, gardens, park and playground. So ultimately the cities are built up with two categories, that is of built up lands and the open lands. Built up lands are of the area where all the type of building has been constructed. At the same time, open land which has been used for the development of roads, park and gardens. Now understand how the town is consisting with various elements. First is the town center. It is the center, or you can say a core of a town, which containing business centers, civic centers and light shopping centers. In Ahmedabad itself, there is a place called Lal Darwaja where all the facilities have been provided, where you can do merchandise, business, trade, even that is one of the central focal point of the city area, and that is what we call town center. Later on, we will discuss this town center as a central business district. Next is suburb. It comprises with two terms, that is of sub and urban, suburban areas, which contains all the type of houses with small shops and social amenities. Third is industrial areas. The areas which contains the different industries and factories with communication facilities. This communication can be of rail network or road network. Next is road network. As we have seen that the roads run between the built up areas and connect them with each other. Two important locations has been connected by means of roads. And the last is open space. This includes park and playground of a city. So these are the elements which consist in a town. Now understand the main elements of a city planning. First is built up areas, which includes residential building, public building, commercial building and industrial building. Second is communications. This includes means of communications where roadways, railway, airway and waterway is major part of the means of communication in the town. Third is open areas. Open space for recreation like park, playgrounds and gardens. Open land for graveyards, cremation grounds, burial places, which are part of open spaces, and certain percentage of land is being kept reserved for such things. Next is public utility services. As I said earlier that these services are of basic facilities, that is of water supply, drainage, electricity, gas supply and telephone. And the last is public amenities, that is of post office, police station, petrol pump, fire brigade station and refuse deposits. This includes the area of solid waste management or the landfill sites. So ultimately, this five parameters are of main element of city planning. Now understand the theory of classification of urban roads. As per IRC, Indian Road Congress, this classification is been done in four categories. But for your understanding, I have added one more category, that is of pathways. First is arterial road, sub-arterial road, local street, or you can say collector streets which collect the traffic. Fourth is streets, and the fifth is pathways. Now let us understand in detail with this classification. First is arterial road. The arterial road connect the town to a state highway or a national highway. These roads are passes through the city. It goes through city, and these roads passes through the city limits and carry large amount of traffic from one part of the town to the other part of the town. These roads are designed in a such a way that it carries heavy traffic. The width of this road is generally 25 to 30 meter. Even you will find the width more than this in some of the urban areas. Now understand these arterial roads. These arterial roads are of major roads, or you can say the roads which passes through any city. For example, in Ahmedabad, National Highway number 8, which passes through the city all the way from Himmatnagar to Ahmedabad to Baroda, which is designed to carry heavy traffic as well. So this is what the arterial road. Now understand the sub-arterial roads. The sub-arterial roads run within the limits of a town and connects the important centers of the town. They act like a link between local roads and arterial roads. They are also called a major roads, or you can say a secondary roads. They are designed for slow moving traffic over a short distance. In our term, these are the major roads of a town, whereas arterial roads are of a part of a town but which passes through a town. So subarterial roads are of one of those important roads of a town which connects two important locations of the town. Understand here, it connects two different locations of the town which carries a slow moving traffic, and it acts as a link between local roads and the arterial roads. So subarterial roads, for an instant, subarterial roads are of from Thaltej to Vastral. This connectivity is of subarterial roads which connects two different locations of a town. Next is local roads. Local roads are also known as the minor roads. They collect traffic from various parts of the town and lead to another minor road or major roads. Understand here, local roads are not directly connected with arterial roads. They are separated by means of overbridge or underpasses. Understand these? They are of separated by overbridge or underpasses. They are not directly connected with each other. These roads give access to abutting properties or nearness properties, and the importance is given to the non-vehicular traffic. Non-vehicular traffic means those who are pedestrian and those who are using the cycle or bicycles on the roads. So local roads are of those roads which are for the access for the abutting properties, and the priority is been given to the non-vehicular movement on the roads. At the same time, they are collecting traffic from various parts of the town and lead to another places. Or you can say in other terms, whatever traffic which comes from local roads goes towards subarterial roads. Next is streets. A road which serves the needs of an internal portion of a local area is known as a street. The portion to be served may either by residential, commercial or industrial. The design of a street is made after considering the purpose and the use of portion to be served by the street. Special attention is paid to the social, commercial and other requirement of the local community. Now, for example, if I want to go for purchase of any product, for example milk, then I'll approach from my home to streets by walking. And within the periphery, based on our requirement and demands, certain things are arranged in a such a way that one can approach by walking, and that is what the street is. After street, you will reach to the minor road, or you can say local roads, which is one of the famous area of that particular stretch. After reaching that local road, you will approach towards sub-arterial road, which is part of two important points of a town. So from street to local roads, from local roads you are going to sub-arterial road. Even that, after that you will reach up to the major road, or you can say national highway or the state highway. Next is the pathways. These are also known as the pedestrian ways, and they are in the form of access leading to the individual shops or premises. The vehicular traffic is not allowed to move on the pathways. This is provided at some of the places like CBD area where the traffic movement is very high. And at these places you will find vehicular free access of the individual, and that we call no vehicular zone, where any entry or exit of vehicle is being not allowed. Now understand through this image. From local roads or from streets which is diverging from your house and leads towards collector streets. These collector streets collect all those traffics of local roads to a main path. Ultimately, these collectors are connecting through the main arterial road, which is a peripheral road of any town. Next is the example of this classification of urban roads in a real practice. I have taken the image of Rajkot municipality and its urban area. This black line is the arterial road. The yellow line is of subarterial road, whereas continuous grey line is of collector streets, and you will find certain empty space which are not highlighted in any color. These are of local streets. So first you can see those major roads which has been highlighted with green color, and the destination which is going outward from the map is been determined. That is towards Ahmedabad, towards Bhavnagar, towards Gondal, towards Kalawad, towards Jamnagar and towards Morbi. These are the main arterial road which are going outward from the city. Now understand the yellow color line which is of subarterial road which are part of the city town and connects important location of the town. These subarterial roads are connected with the major roads, or you can say arterial road of the town. At the same time you will find the grayish shade line which represent the collector streets, and thus the entire traffic is being distributed from the channel. This is what the classification of urban road. Urban road system includes rectangular or grid iron road system or street system, concentric and radial street system, rectangular combined with diagonal street system, rectangular combined with radial street system, and the last is organic street system. Let us start with the rectangular or grid iron street system. As we discussed in the town planning and the ancient town planning, we have seen that the Mohenjo-daro, where the roads are of grid iron pattern, or you can say grid iron street system. So this system is suitable for fairly plain area or firm ground where there is no any natural feature. The street crosses each other at right angle, or you can say the streets are at 90 angle, or you can say at right angle to each other. The width of these streets are of equal. For example, Jaipur, Gandhinagar and Chandigarh, where you can see the streets are of and the city planning is of sector model. In Gandhinagar, you will find different sectors. Once if you cross one crossroad or major junction and reach to another, then you have finished almost a sector. And these are of grid iron pattern. Now understand the advantages of this grid iron street system. This system is convenient for traffic movement, where you can achieve speedy and free traffic in this system. There is no wastage of land, as all these rectangles or all these grid which forms in this pattern are of in rectangle shape. You can see here the streets which is going from left to right. You can see here the streets are making rectangle, and this space, this open space can be utilized fully. There is no wastage of land or any part is been left out without any construction. This is most suited for building construction, as buildings are constructed in a rectangular blocks. So this is what the rectangular grid iron street system. Next is concentric and radial street system. This system is in circular form, like you can say ring roads, where several ring roads are formed, like ring road 1, 2, 3, and from center you can see the diagonally, or you can say a radial network is going outward from the city center. Here you can see in this radial road, like you can see here the circles which are of circular, or you can say ring roads, whereas a radial road which are going outward from the city center, and this in total seems like a spider web. In previous talk, I have talked about Rajkot city, where you have seen those arterial roads which are going outward from the city center, and these are of main roads. In this system, the town grows in the form of concentric rings around the hub, like center hub, then industrial part, or this concentric radial is concentrated between two rings. In Ahmedabad, the entire city is covered between 12 darwajas, that is of Raipur Darwaja, Shahpur Darwaja, Kalupur Darwaja, Prem Darwaja, Astoria Darwaja, and the peripheral road is the ring road. This is of older development. After that, 132 feet ring road is introduced, which connects the major junction of the city limits. Beyond this, the third ring road is of 200 feet ring road is been introduced. That is SP ring road, which is also in a circular form. It is not necessary that road has to be a circular form. These radial are of in rectangle as well. If you study the radial system of Beijing and Shanghai, at that places you will find ring roads in a rectangular form. I am moving ahead. The radial roads provide direct access to the heart of the town and are not going to waste any time in traffic congestion. And the traffic which is leading to sitting heart from outer side is very fast. And these are majorly arterial roads, as I discussed. The circular roads helps to distribute the local traffic to the radial roads, and unnecessary concentration on one road can be eliminated. Next is this system is found useful for the economical development of a town, or you can say economical expansion of the town. If the town has central feature like market, public building and so on. Now understand the disadvantage of this concentric and radial street system. This system proves uneconomical for the building of houses, as the plots are of in trapezoidal shape and you cannot utilize the space of that particular area, and ultimately there is wastage of land in urban area. Next is the rectangular combined with diagonal street system. This is the modified version of rectangular street system. Here one feature class is been introduced, that is of diagonal street pattern is introduced in gridiron street system. This system has been adopted in Washington DC, USA, where you can directly come to the city heart without any traffic movement. Now understand the advantages of the rectangular combined with diagonal street system. It proves direct access from distance of town to the city center. As I said, obstacles are very few and you can reach to the city heart. At the junction of diagonal, a park or you can say a garden or fountain can be placed, where which is part of the aesthetic of the town. At last, after having certain advantage, there is one disadvantage. That is, in this system, there is increase in the dangerous intersection at the junction of diagonal streets and rectangular streets. You can see here in the diagonal streets where the streets are combining with the rectangular streets, there is a dangerous intersection. You can see it is not of right angle cross section, it is at inclination angle, and that's why there may be chances of accidents. Next is rectangular combined with radial street system. It is the combination of radial and rectangular street system where the plenty of land is being provided and you have the topographical feature. This system has benefits of radial as well as the rectangular road system. The standard example is the New Delhi, where this two sector, one is made for sectoral development and the other is for the old city town. So you have the benefit of these two separate road system in one town, where you have the plenty of firm land. Now the organic street system. In this system, the word itself suggests that the organic, which means the city plan resembles like a microscopic slide of cell structure of animals and vegetable tissues. This street system is entirely unplanned system with all the irregularities where there is no connection or interlink between two roads. Anywhere you can find dead ends or you can say discontinuity of roads, which is ultimately leads towards traffic. I'm ending this session. I hope you have learned regarding the urban classification, urban street system and the various elements of city planning. Thanks for watching this video.